Hello, hello, and welcome. I'm Nick, and welcome to the Highway Book Club, the show where, in order to evoke some road trip vibes, we listen to some public domain books, radio shows, audiobooks. We just put some delightful stories on in our ear while I use my racing wheel that I don't use often enough and just cruise around in circles. Today, I've decided we should revisit some Orson Welles stories. So I have three lined up here for an evening of listening. And I will be driving around in Forza Horizon 5 because I just started playing this. So I have plenty of billboards in the open world to go look around and find. So that's what we're going to do. And we are going to begin by listening to the Mercury Theater on the Air presents Sherlock Holmes.
The Mercury Theater on the Air. The Columbia Broadcasting System takes pleasure in bringing you the 12th in its series of weekly broadcasts featuring Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the Air. Tonight, Broadway's and radio's most celebrated theatrical producing company brings to life the best-loved character in detective fiction, the immortal Sherlock Holmes. The play is Orson Welles' own adaptation for radio of William Gillette's enduring melodrama based on the famous stories by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Before the performance begins, here is the director of the Mercury Theater, the star and producer of these unique broadcasts, Orson Welles.
Good evening. Well, tonight it's back to Baker Street. Back to that unlikely London of the 19th century where high adventure awaits all who would seek it, in a hansom cab or under a gas lamp in an Inverness cape. But tonight we pay tribute to the most wonderful member of that most wonderful world, a gentleman who never lived and who will never die. There are only a few of them, these permanent profiles, everlasting silhouettes on the edge of the world. There is first the little hunchback with a slapstick whose hooked nose is shaped like his cap. There is now and always will be the penguin-footed hobo in the derby and the baggy pants, and the small boy with a wooden head, and the long, rusty knight on horseback, and the fat knight who could only procure a charge on foot. There is also the tall gentleman with a hawk's face, and the underslung pipe, and the fore and aft cap. We'd know them anywhere and call them easily by name. Punch
We'll try that.
And the Charlies, Chaplin and McCarthy, Quixote, Sir John, and Sherlock Holmes. Now, irrelevant as this may seem, we of the Mercury Theater are very much occupied these days with rehearsals for a revival of a fine old American farce. A lot of you will remember, if only for its lovely title, which is Too Much Johnson. Its author was William Gillette, which reminded us, as it reminds you, of Sherlock Holmes. As everybody knows, that celebrated American inventor of underacting lent his considerable gifts as a playwright to the indestructible legend of the Conan Doyle detective, and produced the play which is as much a part of the Holmes literature as any of Sir Arthur's own romances, and as nobody will ever forget. He gave his face to him. For William Gillette was the aquiline and actual embodiment of Holmes himself. It is too little to say that William Gillette resembled Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes looks exactly like William Gillette. Sounds like him, too, we're afraid, and hope devoutly that the Mercury Theater and the radio will take none of the glamour from the beloved fable of Baker Street, from the pipe and the violin and the hideous purple dressing gown, from the needle and the cigar on the window ledge, and the dry, final, famous lines. Elementary, my dear Watson, elementary, the mere child's play of deduction.
My name is Watson. I am a doctor. It was in the year 1880 that Holmes and I were introduced by a mutual acquaintance. At the time, we were both looking for a lodging that would suit our moderate means. This we found on the second floor of a house at 221B Baker Street. And it was during the years that we occupied these chambers together that Holmes established his unique international reputation as a consulting detective. During that time, I was privileged to be his daily companion. And I have done my modest share in giving to the world an account of some of his most famous cases. Most famous of these are the ones of which I have written under the names of the Speckled Band, Sign of Thor, Hound of the Baskervilles, and A Study in Scarlet. They represent, however, only a minute fraction of the 643 cases Holmes successfully solved during the years that we shared the lodgings in Baker Street. Other cases I hope one day to give to the world include the Tarleton murders, the sudden death of Cardinal Tosca, the adventure of Ricoletti, of the clubfoot and his abominable wife, the case of Mrs. Farintosh, the circus belle, and the case of the royal family of Scandinavia. Each illustrate in their own way the remarkable genius of my friend Sherlock Holmes. Since my marriage 3 years ago, Holmes has continued to occupy the Baker Street lodgings by himself. And here almost every afternoon when my work in the office is finished, I am in the habit of calling on him. The sitting room as you go in is exactly as it has been for the past 13 years. The worn bearskin rug, the huge sofa covered with faded chintz, the mantelpiece cluttered with miscellaneous objects, unanswered letters, and piles of loose tobacco. On one side of the fireplace, in a deep armchair, his pipe curling forth slow wreaths of acrid tobacco, draped in his hideous purple dressing gown, sits Sherlock Holmes with his violin under his chin.
Come in. Oh, Watson, my dear fellow.
How are you, Holmes?
I'm delighted to see you. Perfectly delighted. Upon my word, I am. But I'm sorry to observe that your wife has left you.
She has gone on a little visit. But how did you know?
How did I? Well, I like that. How do I know anything? How do I know you've been getting yourself very wet lately, that you're an extremely careless servant girl, that you've moved your dressing table to the other side of the room?
Holmes, if you had lived a few centuries ago, they'd have burned you alive.
Such a conflagration would have saved me a great deal of trouble and expense.
Tell me now, how did you know all that?
Too simple to talk about. Scratches and clumsy cuts, my dear fellow, on the inner side of your shoe there, just where the firelight strikes it. Scratches, cuts. Somebody scraped away crusted mud and did it badly. Scraped the shoe along with it. There's your wet foot, my dear Watson, and your careless servant girl all on one shoe. Face badly shaved on the right side, always used to be on the left. Light must come from the other side. Couldn't very well move your window. Must move the dressing table.
Of course. But how the deuce did you know my wife was away?
Well, what the deuce is your second waistcoat button, Watson? And what the deuce is yesterday's buttonniere doing in today's lapel? And why the deuce do you wear the expression of a...
Oh, marvelous.
Elementary, my dear fellow, elementary. The child's play of deduction. I'm only doing it for your amusement before we pass on to more serious matters.
Oh, what is it now, Holmes?
Watson, my dear fellow, the enthusiasm which has prompted you to chronicle, and if you will excuse my saying so, somewhat to embellish my little adventures, you've occasionally seen fit to introduce a certain element of romance which struck me as being just a trifle out of place. Something like working an elopement into the fifth proposition of Euclid. I merely refer to this in case you should see fit at some future time to chronicle the case on which I am about to embark. The strange case of Professor Robert Moriarty.
Moriarty? I don't remember ever having heard of the fellow.
No, Watson, you haven't. It is precisely this quality of invisibility that makes of Professor Moriarty the Napoleon of crime. Sitting motionless like an ugly, venomous spider in the center of his web. But that web having 1,000 radiations and the spider knowing every quiver of every one of them. And within 48 hours, I'll have the lines drawn so tightly around him that he can't move. I'll arrest him and his entire gang.
Why, Holmes, this is a very dangerous...
My dear fellow, it's perfectly delightful. My whole life is spent in a series of frantic endeavors to escape from the dreary commonplaces of existence. For a brief period, I escape. You should congratulate me. The day before yesterday, I received in this room the visit of a certain foreign nobleman who has recently inherited a very considerable title and who is about to be married. Seems that this titled gentleman was so indiscreet as to fall in love with a young English lady by the name of Faulkner, socially his inferior, and to make her a promise of marriage. Later, at his family's insistence, the thing was broken off, and the young lady died shortly after of a broken heart, leaving behind a sister. Also, considerable evidence in the form of letters, photographs, and jewelry with inscriptions. These the sister kept. These, together with the sister, are now being held in a house in St. John's Wood by a pair of blackmailers who go by the name of Chetwood. So far as you see, my dear Watson, a fairly ordinary case of blackmail, hardly worth my attention. Last night, on my inspection, a certain element revealed itself which renders the case far more important than I had expected.
And that element was...
Professor Moriarty. Come in.
Beg pardon, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, Billy, what is it?
Gentleman to see you by the name of Foreman.
Show him in, Billy. Show him in.
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Come in, Mr. Foreman.
Good evening, Foreman.
Good evening, Mr. Holmes.
Watson, this is Inspector Foreman. Just the day before yesterday, he occupies the position of butler under the name of Judson in the home of Mr. and Mrs. Chetwood, blackmailers, in John's Wood. Well, Foreman, any news?
Yes, sir. This morning, a little after 9, Chetwood and his wife drove away in a four-wheeler. They returned about 11. Bassett was with them. You know him, sir?
Yes. When I last had the occasion to meet Mr. Bassick, he got 2 years for safecracking. You go on, Foreman.
Well, they took this man Bassick into the library. I got a look at him from the outside. And there he was opening up the safe where they'd been keeping the letters.
Go on.
In the end, when they got the safe open, it was empty. The letters were gone. It seems like the Faulkner girl got them back somehow. That got them pretty excited. Bassick went out to send a telegram.
Have you got a copy of it?
Yes. Here it is, sir. It's in code.
Moriarty. I thought so, Watson. This case is taking a most promising turn. Foreman, you return at once to the house at St. John's Wood. In 10 minutes, I shall be there myself. If I remember correctly, the kitchen is immediately below the drawing room. Yes. When I knock over a chair in the drawing room, you'll overturn a lamp in the kitchen, scatter smoke balls, and give an alarm of fire. All other instructions remain unchanged.
Very good, sir.
Hurry, Foreman.
Yes, Mr. Holmes.
Well, my dear Watson, begins to look like a most interesting evening. Good evening. My name is Sherlock Holmes.
Whom did you wish to see, Mr. Holmes?
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Chetwood. I had myself announced by the butler on my way up.
Butler? I didn't. Oh, very well. Oh, here he is. Yes, Judson. Miss Faulkner begs Mr. Holmes to excuse her. She is not well enough to see anyone this evening.
Will you please hand this card to Miss Faulkner and say that
I beg your pardon, Mr. Holmes, but it's quite useless, really.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear it.
Yes, Miss Faulkner is, I regret to say, quite an invalid. She is unable to see anyone. Her health is so poor.
Has it ever occurred to you, Mr. Chetwood, that she might be confined to the house too much?
How does that concern you?
It doesn't. I simply make the suggestion. Might like to think it over. What's your butler's name?
Judson, sir.
Very well, Judson. Go on, take my card up.
Very good, sir.
Well, this is really too good. Why, of course, you can take up your card or your note or whatever it is if you wish it so much. I was only trying to save you the trouble.
Thanks. It's hardly any trouble at all to send up a card.
You know, Mr. Holmes, you interest me very much.
Oh, really?
On my word, yes. We've all heard of your wonderful methods, the astonishing manner in which you gain information from the most trifling details. Now, I dare say in this brief moment or two, you've discovered any number of things about me.
Nothing of consequence, Mr. Chetwood. I hardly more than asked myself why you were so distressed to see me at this particular moment, and what there can possibly be about the safe in the lower part of that desk to cause you such painful anxiety.
Yes, very good. Very good indeed. If those things were only true now, I'd be wonderfully impressed. It would be absolutely remarkable.
Excuse me, sir.
Judson.
A message for you, Mr. Chetwood.
You'll excuse me, I trust. It's from, Miss Faulkner. Well, really. She begs to be allowed to see you, Mr. Holmes. She absolutely implores it. Well, I suppose I shall have to give way. Judson, ask Miss Faulkner to come down to the drawing room. Say that Mr. Holmes is waiting to see her.
Very good, sir.
Quite remarkable, upon my soul. May I ask, if it's not an impertinent question, what message you sent up that could so have aroused Miss Faulkner's desire to come down?
Merely if that she wasn't down here in 5 minutes, I'd go up.
Oh, that was it.
Yes, quite so. And unless I'm greatly mistaken, I hear the young lady on the stairs. In which case she has a minute and a half to spare.
Alice, that is Miss Faulkner. Let me introduce Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Mr. Holmes,
Miss Faulkner.
I'm really most charmed to meet you. Although it does look as if you'd made me come down in spite of myself, doesn't it?
I thank you very much indeed for consenting to see me, Miss Faulkner, but regret to observe that you are put to the trouble of making such a very rapid change of dress.
Oh, yes. I did hurry a trifle, I confess. Mr. Holmes is quite living up to his reputation, isn't he, Freddie? Come in.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you doing here, Judson?
I beg pardon, ma'am. I was answering the bell.
What bell?
The drawing room bell, sir.
What do you mean, you blockhead? No one rang the bell.
I'm quite sure it was rung, sir.
Well, I tell you it did not ring.
Your butler is right, Mr. Chetwood. The bell did ring.
How do you know?
I rang it.
What do you want?
I want to send my card to the real Miss Faulkner.
For real?
I said the real Miss Faulkner. Judson,
Yes, sir.
Holmes, what right have you to ring for servants and give orders in my house?
what right have you to prevent my cards from reaching their destination? And how does it happen that you and this woman are resorting to trickery and deceit to prevent me from seeing Alice Faulkner? Through some trifling oversight, Judson, neither of the cards I handed to him has been delivered. Kindly see that this error does not occur again.
My orders, sir.
You have orders.
I can't say, sir.
You were told not to deliver my card.
What business is it of yours, I'd like to know?
I shall satisfy your curiosity on that point in a very short time, Mr. Chetwood.
Yes. And you'll find out in a very short time that it isn't safe to meddle with me. It wouldn't be any trouble at all for me to throw you out into the street.
Possibly not, but trouble would swiftly follow such an experiment on your part.
The cursed lucky thing for you, I'm not armed.
Yes, well, Miss Faulkner comes down, you go and arm yourself.
Arm myself, I'll call the police. What's more, I'll do it now.
Oh, no, you will not do it now. You will remain where you are until the lady I came here to see has entered this room.
What makes you so sure of that?
Because you will prefer to avoid an investigation of your suspicious conduct, Mr. James Larrabee.
Larrabee?
That is the name under which you are known to Scotland Yard, I believe, Mr. Chetwood. This lady here is your wife. To you, Judson, you will either deliver that card to Miss Faulkner at once or sleep in the police station tonight. That is of small consequence to me, which you do.
Shall I go, sir?
Go on. Take up the card. It makes no difference to me.
A short time since, Larrabee, you displayed an acute anxiety to leave the room. Pray do not let me detain you or your wife any longer. Take it you prefer to remain while I talk to Miss Faulkner?
We do, Mr. Holmes.
That, Miss Faulkner.
Mr. Holmes,
Yes,
you wish to see me?
very much indeed, Miss Faulkner, but I'm sorry to see that you are far from well.
Oh, no,
No? Beg your pardon. What does this mark mean?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing?
No.
And the mark here on your neck, plainly showing the clutch of a man's fingers, does that mean nothing also? Occurs to me that I should like to have an explanation of this. Possibly you can furnish one, Mr. Larrabee.
How should I know?
It seems to have occurred in your own house.
What if it did? You'd better understand that it isn't healthy for you or anyone else to interfere with my business.
Ah, that is your business. We have that much at least. Pray be seated, Miss Faulkner.
I don't know who you are, Mr. Holmes, or why you were here.
I shall be very glad indeed to explain. My business is this. I've been consulted as to the possibility of obtaining from you certain letters addressed to your sister, which are supposed to be in your possession.
I cannot give up my sister's letters, Mr. Holmes. There are other things besides revenge and punishment.
Believe me, Miss Faulkner.
There is nothing more to say. Good night, Mr. Holmes.
But my dear Miss Faulkner... Oh, I'm so sorry. How clumsy of me to turn over this chair.
Fire! Fire! Oh, help, sir.
Oh, what's
Help,
that?
help,
What's
sir.
that?
What is it?
What's going on in your house here?
Fire, fire! The lamp, sir. Lamp? The lamp in the kitchen, sir. It fell off the table and everything down there is blazing, sir. Quick, sir, come down. Quick, come.
Don't alarm yourself, Miss Faulkner. There is no fire.
No fire.
The smoke was all arranged for.
Arranged for? What does it mean, Mr. Holmes?
It means this, Miss Faulkner. It means that I wanted a package of letters, Miss Faulkner, and that by following your eyes just now, when you thought there was a fire, I discovered that you'd hidden them in the upholstery of this chair. Yes. Quite elementary, as you see. And now that they're in my possession, there seems to be no reason for me to remain any longer in this house. Good night, Miss Faulkner. Miss Faulkner,
Yes.
I can't take them, Miss Faulkner. These letters belong to you. I find that I cannot keep them. Unless you can possibly change your mind and let me have them of your own free will. I hardly suppose you could. I will therefore return them to you and, here's our friend Mr. Larrabee returning from the fire.
Now I suppose we're going to see you walk out of the house with them.
On the contrary, you're going to see me return them to their rightful owner. Miss Faulkner, here are your letters. Should you ever change your mind and be so generous, so forgiving as to wish to return these letters to the one who wrote them, you have my address. In any event, rest assured there will be no more cruelty, no more persecution in this house.
Thank you.
You are perfectly safe with your property, Miss Faulkner. For I shall so arrange it that your faintest cry of distress will be heard. And if that cry is heard, it will be very unfortunate for those who are responsible. As for you, Mr. Larrabee, and you, Madame, I beg you to understand that you continue your persecution of that young lady at your peril. Good night.
Miss Faulkner. Come here, Miss Faulkner. Now. Are you going to give me those letters?
No.
Are you going to give me those letters? No, then.
Be careful, Jim.
Now then, Miss Faulkner. Do you give me those letters, or do I break your arm? What's that?
Someone knocked on the door.
No, it was on that side.
You call, madam?
I think someone knocked, Judson.
I'll see. I beg pardon, madam, but there's no one at the door.
Very well, you may go. He's got us watched.
What we want to do is to leave it alone. Let the Emperor have it.
Do you mean Professor Moriarty?
That's who I mean. Once let him get at it, he'll settle it with Holmes pretty quick. Don't you worry a minute. I tell you, Professor Moriarty will get at him before noon tomorrow night. He won't wait long either. And when he strikes, it means death.
I think I missed something. Why did he not take the letters? There's quite a bit happened there.
Number 82. The 71.
Manning, everything was a trap, set and baited by an expert. Manning? Manning has disappeared. Disappeared? Sherlock Holmes again. Well, this Larrabee job, he's in on that too. That's where he's made his mistake. Mr. Holmes is playing rather a dangerous game, Bassett. Inspector Wilson tried it 7 years ago. Wilson is dead. 2 years later, Henderson took it up. We haven't heard anything of Henderson lately, eh?
Not a thing, sir.
You'll see about that. This Holmes is rather a talented man. He doesn't realize there isn't a street in London that'll be safe for him if I whisper his name to Craig. I might even make him a little call myself, just for the satisfaction of it. Just for the satisfaction of it. Baker Street, isn't it, please? Baker Street, eh?
Baker Street, sir.
He could make it safe. He could make it absolutely safe. With 3 streets in every direction.
Yes, sir, but
He could. He's done it over and over again elsewhere. Police deployed, men in every doorway. Do this tonight in Baker Street. 9 o'clock, call his attendants out on one pretext or another. Keep them out. Understand? I'll see this Sherlock Holmes myself. I'll give him a chance for his life. That's it.
Yes, sir.
Notify the Lascar that I may require the gas chamber at Stepney tomorrow night. And have Craig in there at 10:15 with his crew. Tell Larrabee I shall want him to write a letter to Mr. Sherlock Holmes, which I shall dictate. Meet me here at 7. Bassett, place your men at 9 tonight for Sherlock Holmes' house in Baker Street.
You still go there yourself, sir?
I will still go there myself.
At this meeting tomorrow night, sir, to get him in the gas chamber.
If I fail to kill him in Baker Street, you'll have him in Swansea Lane. Either way, I have him, Bassett. 2 strings to our bow. 2 strings, eh, Bassett?
Aye.
That evening, Holmes and I dined together at Scott's in Piccadilly Circus. After dinner, we went to a concert at Queen's Hall. I can still see him on this particular night of the Moriarty case, well knowing that his life was in peril, sitting beside me in the stalls, wrapped in the most perfect happiness, listening to Sarasate play the violin, gently waving his long, thin fingers in time to music.
Man, he's really good at the violin.
When it was over, he rose, put on his long coat, and started with long steps in the direction of the street.
Come, my dear Watson. Go on to Baker Street. I have an idea that very soon we shall be receiving a most interesting visit.
In front of Queen's Hall, we hailed a hansom, and as we came down Baker Street, we could see that the light was burning on the second floor of 221B. We went up the dark, narrow stairs.
Mr. Holmes.
The boy Billy was waiting for us.
Mr.
Yes.
Holmes.
What is it?
Mrs. Hudson's compliments, sir, and she wants to know if she can see you.
Now, where is Mrs. Hudson?
Downstairs in the kitchen, sir.
My compliments, and I don't think she can. Where she is.
She'll be very sorry, sir.
Our regret will be mutual.
It was most terribly important, sir. Being as she wants to know what you'll have for breakfast in the morning.
The same.
Same as when, sir?
This morning.
But you didn't have nothing, sir. You wasn't here.
I won't be here tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Was that all, sir?
Quite so.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Oh, Mr. Holmes, here's a letter for you, sir, on the table. Delivered 10 minutes ago.
Well, read it, Watson. There's a good fellow. I put on my dressing gown.
Dear sir.
Thus addresses me.
Why, James Larrabee.
And what has James to say this evening?
Dear sir.
I hope he won't say that again.
I have the honor to inform you that Miss Faulkner has changed her mind regarding the letters, etc., which you wish to obtain, and has decided to dispose of them for a monetary consideration. If you wish to negotiate, you'll be at 9 o'clock at the Guards Monument at the foot of Waterloo Place. You will see a four-wheeler with wooden shutters to the windows. If you have the cab followed or try any other underhand trick, you won't get what you want. Let me know your decision. Yours truly, James Larrabee.
Mine truly. Well, later, perhaps.
What does the fellow mean?
The fellow means to sell me a base imitation for a large sum of money of certain letters that he does not possess. I shall probably buy them from him. Now, if I have the points. Tonight, 11 o'clock, Guards Monument, cab with wooden shutters, no one to come with me, no one to follow. Or I don't get what I want.
Quite right. But this cab with the wooden shutters?
Merely a little device to keep me from seeing where they're taking me. Billy,
Yes, sir.
give this to the man.
It was
and,
a woman, sir.
Oh, young or old?
Looked quite young, sir.
Handsome?
Four-wheeler, sir.
There you go.
Seen the driver before?
Oh, that's where that bottle of ink
But I
went.
can't think where.
Hand this to the lady, apologize for the delay, and look at the driver again.
Yes, sir.
But, my dear Holmes, you didn't say you would go.
But I certainly did.
This fellow means mischief.
This fellow means the same.
Beg pardon, sir. A message come over from the chemist on the corner to say a man has been hit by a bus. Looks like his legs broke. And would Dr. Watson kindly step over and help till the ambulance
Oh, you
comes?
certainly are. Go at once. I'll be back in a minute.
Billy,
Yes, sir.
who brought that message?
Boy from the chemist, sir.
Yes, of course, but which boy?
Must have been a new one, sir. I ain't seen him before.
Billy, get downstairs quickly. Look after the doctor. If the boy's gone, there's a man with him. It means mischief. Let me know. Don't stop to come up. Ring the doorbell. I'll hear it. Ring it loud.
Yes, sir.
Ring it loud. Well, okay. Back when doors would. Yeah, sure. Okay. There you go.
Look out, sir. Look out. Look out.
Dangerous
habit, Mr. Holmes, to finger loaded firearms in the pocket of one's dressing gown.
I give you my word, Professor Moriarty. You'll be taken from here to the hospital if you keep your hand behind you like that. That's better. In that case, please put your revolver on the table.
Evidently don't know me.
I think it's quite evident that I do. Pray have a chair, Professor. I can spare you 5 minutes. If you have anything to say. Careful. What are you about to do, Professor Moriarty?
Look at my watch.
I'll tell you when your 5 minutes is up.
Is your intention to pursue this case against me?
That is my intention. To the very end.
I regret this. Not so much on my own account, but on yours.
I share your regret, Professor, but solely because of the rather uncomfortable position it will cause you to occupy.
May I inquire to what position you're pleased to allude, Mr. Holmes?
I refer to the position you will occupy at the end of a rope, Professor Moriarty.
Have you the faintest idea that you'd be permitted to live to see that day?
As to that, I do not particularly care, so that I bring you to see it.
You'll never bring me to see it. You think that I would be here if I hadn't made the streets quite safe in every respect?
I could never so grossly overestimate your courage as that, Professor Moriarty.
You imagine that your friend the doctor and your boy Billy will soon return?
What?
So, it leaves us quite alone, doesn't it, sir? Quite alone. So that we can talk the matter over quietly, Mr. Holmes, and not be disturbed. In the first place, I wish to call your attention to a few memoranda which I've jotted down, and which you will find... There they are.
Look out! Don't do that. Hands down, quickly! Your father away from that memorandum book you're talking about.
I will merely take out a small notebook.
Well, merely don't do it. I don't want it. Got one of my own. If you want it, we'll have someone get it for you. I always like to save my guests unnecessary trouble.
I observe that your boy doesn't answer well.
No, but I have an idea that he will before long.
It may possibly be longer than you think, Mr. Holmes.
What? That boy?
Yes, that boy.
That boy.
At least we'll try the bell once more, Professor.
Doesn't it occur to you that he may possibly have been detained, Mr. Holmes?
It does, Professor. But it also occurs to me that you're in very much the same predicament, Professor Moriarty.
I beg pardon, sir. Someone tried to hold me, sir.
It's quite evident, however, that he failed to do so.
Yes, sir. He's got my coat, sir, but he ain't got me.
Billy.
Yes, sir.
Billy, the gentleman I'm carefully pointing out to you with this 45 desires to have us gather something of his left hand inside coat pocket. As he's not feeling quite himself today, and the consequence of his trying to do it himself might prove fatal, I suggest you attend to it for him.
Yes, sir. Is this it, sir? This gun?
Quite so. So I'll put it on the table. Not there, Billy. On this table. I can reach it. More like it. That's all, Billy.
Shall I see if he's got another, sir?
Why, Billy, you surprised me. Perhaps the gentleman's taken the trouble to inform us that he hasn't.
When, sir?
When he made a snatch for this one. And now, Professor, now that we have your little memorandum book, do you think of anything else you'd like before Billy goes? Any little thing you've got that you don't want? So sorry. That's all, Billy.
Thank you, sir.
Listen, Holmes, to me. On the 4th of January, you crossed my path. On the 23rd, you incommoded me. And now, at the close of April, I find myself placed in such a position through your continual interference that I'm in positive danger of losing my liberty.
Have you any suggestions to make?
No, I have no suggestions to make. I have a fact to state. If you don't drop it at once, your life's not worth death.
I'm afraid, Professor, that in the pleasure of this conversation, I'm neglecting more important business. If you'll excuse me a moment while I get my pipe off the mantelpiece here.
I came here this evening, Mr. Holmes, to see if peace could not be arranged between us.
Quite so, quite so.
You'd seen fit not only to reject my proposals, but to make insulting references coupled with threats of arrest. You've been warned of your danger. You don't heed that warning. Perhaps you'll heed this. Up with your hands, Mr. Holmes. Up with them, perhaps.
Didn't imagine I'd leave that gun loaded, did you, Professor Moriarty? Here are your cartridges. I didn't suppose you'd want to use that gun again, so I took them out while you were talking and put them in my pocket. You'll find them all there, Professor. Billy,
Yes, sir.
can you please show Professor Moriarty the door?
Yes, sir. This way, sir.
Did ever say I didn't warn you, Mr. Holmes?
No, Professor Moriarty. No, I never will. Billy, come here.
Yes, sir.
Billy? Billy, you're a good boy.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Billy, you're a good boy.
You are listening to the Columbia Broadcasting System's presentation of Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the Air in Sherlock Holmes, with Orson Welles in the title role and Ray Collins as Dr. Watson. We pause a moment for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
I can... Oh, you can barely hear me over that, huh? All right, fine. We're listening today. Or I could turn me up. What? Oh. Turn my headphones up.
We continue now with this CBS presentation of Sherlock Holmes, played by Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the Air.
It was exactly 9 o'clock when Sherlock Holmes left the house in Baker Street. He had given the strictest instructions that no one was to follow him. If there had been no word from him by noon of the following day, we must notify Scotland Yard. I went to the window and looked after him as he went down Baker Street. A tall, thin figure in a gray ulster, walking with long, smooth steps in the direction of Langham Place. There he entered a cab.
Here. What are you doing, lighting matches here? That's what I'm doing. Chuck it. Why should I chuck it?
There might be gas, you fool.
There ain't no gas. It's been 4 days since we had gas in the room.
Yeah, I still say there might be gas.
Did you check it?
Yeah, I will. Here goes. Ready?
Give it a turn. That'll do. Turn it off.
5 minutes of that. All your troubles are ready.
Here. What's that? Bassick?
Right, Clayton. Did you hear it?
Yes, sir.
I came.
Yes, sir.
Be careful now, your boy.
Ain't said who, as I've heard.
Sherlock Holmes.
You mean that, sir?
God's truth.
Going to count him out.
Well, if you don't and he gets away, I'm sorry for you.
Jack. Governor's here. Not the governor himself. Professor Moriarty.
Shut up.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Poole,
All here, sir.
no mistakes tonight, Regan.
Well, be careful of that, sir.
This is Larrabee.
Hello.
He's in on this job.
Hello, Larrabee.
What's that door, Bessie?
Small cabin, sir.
No outlet?
None whatever, sir.
This window?
Nailed down, sir.
And might break the glass?
He did. He'd come up against the heavy iron bars outside.
Huh. We'll have him tied down before he can break any glass, sir.
All right. Also, you know it's airtight.
Every crevice is sealed, sir.
When the men have turned the gas on him, they leave by this door.
Yes, sir.
Be made right secure.
Every bolt's on the outside, sir. Solid oak bars overall.
See how quick you can operate.
Well, they tie a man down, sir. There's no need to hurry.
Let me see how quick you can operate them.
Leary.
Yes.
That's good. Open it up. Now, Cregan, the rest of you. One thing remember. Whatever happens, no shooting tonight. Not a single shot. Will be heard in the alley below. First thing is to get his revolver away before he has a chance to use it. Two of you attract his attention in front. The other come up on him from behind and snatch it out of his pocket. Then you have him. Arrange that, Cregan.
I'll attend to it, sir.
Larrabee, you understand? We wait for you.
I understand, sir.
Give you this opportunity to sell him the packet of letters you forged and get what you can for your trouble. £200 doesn't interest me, Mr. Larrabee. That is all.
I understand.
When you've finished and got your money, you whistle, and these get what you can in. You hear it. Hear that, Cregan? That's right. And Cregan, proper moment. Present my compliments to Mr. Sherlock Holmes and say that I wish him a pleasant journey to the other side. Go on, Bassick. Good night, gentlemen. Good night. Good night, sir.
All right, boys. Clear. You hear the whistle, in you come.
Right you are, sir.
Larry,
Yes, sir.
if you get down on the corner below, let me know when he comes.
I will let you know.
Well, when you see him driving up, come down the alley and whistle 3 times.
Very good, sir. Here. What's this?
How did you get in? What are you doing there in the back? Hey! What is it, Larry? A woman here in the back. Bring her in. Come on, you. Come on. Oh, it's you, Miss Fox.
It's true, then.
How did you get to this place?
I followed you in a cab.
What have you been doing since I came up here? Informing the police, perhaps?
No. I was afraid he'd come, so I waited.
To warn him, I suppose.
No. To warn him, yes. You're going to swindle and deceive him, sell him a packet of false letters. I know that. What else are you going to do to him?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Where are those men who came up here?
What men?
3 terrible-looking men. I saw them go in at the street door.
You don't mean these men, do you, Miss Faulkner?
Fire up, boys! Traffic and all. Here we go. Fire up!
I have no idea what's going on in the story right now.
Listen.
There's a lady.
That's him. There he is now. What? Holmes? That's him. That's the signal. You won't have time to get her out. Shut her in there in the cupboard.
Yeah, that'll do. In with her. Into the cupboard. Hey, bring the boxes here, cupboard.
I'll have to knife something in.
Here, this knife. This'll do it.
Now, quick, quick! Good evening, Mr. Holmes.
Ah, Mr. Larrabee. Oh, really? I certainly thought after all this driving about in a closed cab, you'd show me something new.
You've seen it before, have you, Mr. Holmes?
Oh, well, a time or two. Now to come to think of it, I nabbed a friend of yours in this place while he was trying to drop himself out of the window. Ed Colvin, the cracksman.
Colvin, never heard of him before.
Well, you certainly never heard of him after. Sure of that. Brace of counterfeiters used these luxurious chambers in the spring of '89. One of them hid in that cupboard. We pulled him out with heels.
Quite interesting. But times have changed since then.
So they have, Mr. Larrabee, so they have. But then it was only cracksmen, counterfeiters, pickpockets, and petty swindlers of various kinds. But now...
Well, what now?
Well, between you and me, Mr. Larrabee, we've heard some not altogether agreeable rumors. Rumors of some pretty shady work not far from here. Murder to a very peculiar kind. I've always had a suspicion. That's it. My surmise was correct. It is.
This is what?
This room is corked, sealed.
What does that signify to us?
Nothing to us, Mr. Larrabee, nothing to us. But it might signify a good deal to some poor devil who's been caught and gassed in this trap.
Well, if it's nothing to us, suppose we leave it alone and get to business. My time is limited.
Yeah, of course. You should have realized that these reflections could not possibly appeal to you.
Well, have a cigar, Mr. Holmes?
Oh, thanks. Oh, good cigar, this, Mr. Larrabee. Genuine Havana.
Glad you like it. Now, here is the little packet of letters which is the object of this meeting. I haven't opened it yet, but Miss Faulkner tells me everything is there.
I suppose, Mr. Larrabee, that if Miss Faulkner knows nothing about this affair, we omit her name from the discussion.
What do you mean? Who told you she doesn't know?
You did. Every look, tone, gesture, everything you've said and done since I've been in this room has informed me that Miss Faulkner has never consented to this transaction. It is a little speculation of your own.
Oh, I suppose you think you can read me like a book.
Oh, no, like a trimmer.
Well, let it pass. How much will you give?
£1,000.
I couldn't take it.
What do you ask?
5,000.
I couldn't give it.
Why, I've been offered 4,000 for this little
Why
packet.
didn't you take it?
Because I intended to get more.
Oh, that's too bad.
They offered 4,000. They'll give 5.
They won't give anything.
Why not?
They've turned the case over to me.
Would you give 3,000?
Mr. Larrabee, strange as it may appear, my time is limited as well as yours. I have brought with me the sum of £1,000, which is all that I wish to pay. If it is your desire to sell at this figure, kindly appraise me of the fact at once. If not, permit me to wish you a very good evening. Well?
You can have it. It's too small a matter to haggle over. Give me the money.
Yes, certainly.
I thought you said you'd only brought just 1,000.
I did. This is it.
You brought a trifle more, I see.
Quite so. I didn't say I hadn't brought any more.
You can do your little tricks when it comes to it, can't you?
It depends on who I'm dealing with.
Yeah. You give me that money. Come on, quick. Hand it over. Ah! That's over.
Now, I've got you where I want you, James Larrabee. You've been so cunning and so cautious and so wise, we couldn't find a thing to hold you for, but this little slip will get you in for robbery.
You'll have me in for you. What are your views about being able to get away from here yourself?
I do not anticipate any particular difficulty.
Robbery, eh? Why, even if you got away from here, you haven't got a witness. You haven't got a witness to your name.
I'm not so sure of that, Mr. Larrabee. Not so sure of that. You usually fasten this cupboard door with a knife?
Come away from that door!
Faulkner! Stand back. Contemptible scoundrel, what does this mean?
I'll show you what it means. Pass it quick.
I'm afraid you're badly hurt, Miss Faulkner.
Mr. Holmes, look behind you!
James! What is there, boy?
I'll have to ask you gentlemen to wait just one moment, please.
Here there. What's the idea of sitting down and writing? What are you writing? Writing your will, I suppose.
No, only a brief description of one or two of your gentlemen. The police. I'm ready now.
Wait a bit. You better listen to me, Mr. Holmes. We're going to tie you down nice and tight to the top of that table.
Why, you surprised me, gentlemen. Thinking you're so sure of anybody in this room. And 3 bars going out of that window.
Bars or no bars, you're not going to get out of here as easy as you expect.
There are so many ways, Mr. Larrabee, that I hardly know which one to choose.
Well, you better choose quick, I can tell you that.
I'll choose at once, Mr. Cregan. And my choice falls on this chair.
My God! The light! You get away in the chair! Look out! There he goes! Look at his cigar! Strike him by the cigar! Look at the cigar! Look out! He's going for the window! He's up on the ledge! He's climbed out! Look at his cigar! Get him quick! After him! There he goes! He's out! By the window!
No, gentlemen, no, not by the window. I'm leaving by the door. By the way, I left my cigar for you on the windowsill. Good evening, gentlemen.
There was no news of Holmes that night, and Billy reported next morning that he had not breakfasted at home. I had a busy morning at my office in Harley Street. It was after 11 before the last of my appointments was over, and still no news of Holmes.
Did you ring Dr. Watson?
Oh, Parsons, is there anyone waiting? I have to be in Baker Street at noon.
There's one person in the waiting room, Doctor. A lady, sir, and she wants to see you most particular.
Hey, what about?
She didn't say so, only she said it was of the utmost importance to her if you'll see her.
Oh, very well, I'll see her and call a cab for me at the same time and have it wait. Show the lady in.
Yes, sir. This way, ma'am.
Ah, Doctor, it's awfully good of you to see me. I'm Mrs. H. DeWitt Seaton. Dear me, I didn't bring my card case. Or if I did, I've lost it.
Don't trouble about a card.
They said you were Mr. Holmes' friend. Several people told me that. Several. They advised me to ask you where I could find him today, this morning. And everything depends on it, Doctor. Everything.
I'd go to Mr. Holmes at once.
But I've been, and he wasn't there.
You went to Mr. Holmes' house?
Yes, in Baker Street. That's why I came to you. They said he might be here.
No, he isn't here.
But don't you expect him this morning?
No, there's no possibility of Mr. Holmes coming, as far as I know.
But couldn't you get him to come? It would be such a great favor to me. I'm almost worn out with going about him with this dreadful anxiety. If you could get word to Mr. Holmes to come...
I could not get him to come, madam, and I beg you to excuse me. I'm going out myself on urgent business. I have no idea where Mr. Holmes could be. What's that, Parsons?
Sounded like an accident, sir.
Probably nothing more than a broken-down hansom. See what it is, Parsons.
That's the bell, sir. Somebody's hurt, sir, and they're wanting you.
Well, don't allow anybody to come in. I have no more time.
Very well, sir.
But they're coming in, Doctor.
Let the young man come in,
Yes, to bring him in. There ain't nowhere else for him to go. Can't the doctor's off his business, and he can't come in when he's there.
The doctors can't see anybody.
He's got to come in. Can't leave that in the street, can we?
All right, help him in,
Oh,
Parsons.
Doctor, isn't it frightful? Can I be of some use?
None
Doctor?
whatever, none whatever.
But, Doctor, I must see the poor fellow.
Oh, my leg, my leg.
Right this way, sir. Be careful of the sill, sir. That's it.
The accident. You can't help a accident.
Oh, you can't. That's plain enough.
He was on the wrong side of the street, he was.
Now, over to this chair.
No, I'll sit here.
No, this is the chair, sir.
Don't you suppose I know where I want to sit down?
You'll sit down here.
That isn't the doctor.
The doctor will have a look at you. Here's the doctor.
That isn't the doctor.
Yes, it is a doctor. Here, doctor. You just come and have a look at this old bloke, will you? He's hurt himself a little.
Are you a cabman?
Yes, I'm the cabman.
Well, I'll have you arrested for this.
Arrested?
Arrested!
You can't arrest me.
No, I can't, but somebody else can. Where's my hat? Where's my hat? My hat! My hat!
Never mind your hat.
I will mind my hat. I'll hold you responsible.
There's your hat in your hand. Go on, sit down.
That isn't my hat. Here, you're responsible. I'll have you arrested. Here, come back.
I'll go and stick around here, you know.
Why is this scene?
Bring your horse in here. I want to speak to him. Seriously, I won't stay in this place. If I ever get out of here alive. What are you staring at me for, lady?
Parsons, tell that cab to wait for me. I must see if he's badly hurt.
Yes, sir.
Now, my friend, if you'll sit quiet for one moment, I'll have a look at you. Well, stay still, will you? Well, how can I...
Remarkable weather we're having, eh, Doctor?
Holmes! What on earth?
How about having me remove some of this ridiculous disguise, Watson?
Holmes! Is that you?
Quite so, my dear fellow, quite so.
Holmes!
Watson, only get out that window. Look out, the blind!
What do you want me to do?
Nothing. Already been done by Mrs. Larrabee here.
Look out, Holmes. You can get out that way.
I don't think so, Watson. Foreman!
I've got it, sir.
Good work, Foreman. I'll take this lady in charge.
Yes, sir.
Very good, Foreman. Wait for me outside.
Yes,
Oh, Watson, my dear fellow, I regret to say that up to the present time, Professor Moriarty himself has not risen to the bait.
Where do you think he is?
In the open streets, under some clever disguise. Watching for a chance to get at me.
And was this woman sent in here?
Quite so. A spy. To let them know by some signal if she found me in the house. Now they know. Pull down that blind, Watson. I don't care to be shot at from the street. I imagine we shall hear from Professor Moriarty very soon now.
Mr. Holmes! Mr. Holmes!
What did I tell you?
He's come, sir.
From where?
The house across the street. He was in there watching these windows. He must have seen something, for he's just come out. There was a cab waiting in front of this house, sir, and he's climbed up and changed places with the driver.
Get out again quick, Billy, and keep your eye on him.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Watson, if you let me have a rather heavy portmanteau for a few moments, I won't do it any harm.
Parsons, my large Gladstone over there in the corner. Bring it here, please.
Here you are, sir. Here's the portmanteau.
Thank you, Parsons. Put it down there. Thank you so much. Parsons, you wanted a cab for the doctor a short time ago. It's been waiting, I believe.
Yes, sir, I think it has, sir.
Be so good as to tell the driver to come in here and get a valise. When he comes, tell him that's the one.
Very good, sir.
My dear Watson, times like these you should tell your man never to take the first cab that comes on call, nor yet the second. The third may be safe.
But, Holmes, I...
All right, I'm cabby.
Yes, yes, cabby. Here, right in this way.
This bag. I want taken down,
Right, you are,
street.
Governor.
All right. Goodbye, Watson. Bye, Watson, old fellow. Wait a minute, driver. Pretty heavy, I'm afraid. Let me help you. Watson, I'll write to you from Budapest.
Yes, but Holmes...
Here, driver. Let me tighten up the straps a bit. There we are, that's right. I'll hold it, driver. You pull the strap. A few little things in this bag that I wouldn't like to lose.
Right, you are, sir.
And it's just as well to make quite sure. Is it not, Professor Moriarty? By means of a simple pair of handcuffs.
Blast you, Holmes. Do you imagine, Sherlock Holmes, that this is the end?
I ventured to dream that it might be.
Are you quite sure the police will be able to hold me?
Professor Moriarty, I'm quite sure of nothing. Take him away, Foreman. And so, my dear Watson, ends the strange case of Miss Alice Faulkner.
Well, what about the letter?
Oh, the letters. They were returned to their rightful owner over an hour ago. I suspected from the start that Miss Faulkner was really a nice girl at heart. Ah, dear.
What is it, Holmes?
I was just reflecting, my dear Watson. With Moriarty out of the way, London, from the point of view of the criminal expert, It's likely to become a singularly uninteresting city. One's morning paper a veritable wilderness of boredom.
Mr. Holmes, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, Billy?
There's a lady, sir. Been waiting for an hour. Says she's got to see you, sir. Case of murder, she says. She's got her face veiled.
From which I deduce that she is a lady of over 41 and less than 45, of a strange, dark beauty and considerable social eminence. And that she has lived for some years in the Near East. That she is now wearing a large blood ruby on the second finger of her left hand.
Holmes, how do you know these things? It's amazing.
Elementary, my dear Watson. Elementary. The child's play of deduction.
Again tonight, the Columbia Broadcasting System, through its affiliated stations coast to coast, has brought you Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the Air, the 12th production in this unique series featuring Broadway's and radio's most celebrated theatrical producing company. This evening, the play was Orson Welles' own adaptation of William Gillette's Sherlock Holmes. In the cast, Dr. Watson, played by Ray Collins, Alice Faulkner by Mary Taylor, Madge Larrabee by Brenda Forbes, James Larrabee by Edgar Barrier, Inspector Foreman by Morgan Farley, Tragan by Richard Wilson, Brassic by Alfred Shirley, Leary by William Allen, Billy by Arthur Anderson, Professor Moriarty by Eustace Wyatt, and Sherlock Holmes by Orson Welles. The orchestra was conducted by Bernard Herrmann, and the production was supervised for CBS by Davidson Taylor. Your announcer is Frank Gallup.
Boy, they used to mix them radio shows awful loud, but also not. Can we get the orchestra a bit further back from the microphones, please?
Join us then for Charles Dickens' Oliver Twist, brought to life by the Mercury Theater on the Air.
Okay. Hey everybody. That's been a little bit of an hour here. I'm gonna say, let's come over here for a second. Yeah, okay, we still got issues going on. Gonna take a quick break. Gonna run some ads for anybody new coming in, though I don't know who that would be because I'm realizing I forgot to tweet that we were starting this evening. So whoops. Yabba dabba doo. We'll be back in a minute. I'm also gonna switch out cars during the break because ruined this one clearly. Whoops. So we'll be back in a second. If you're watching on the archive, you won't even notice. Don't go nowhere. This button. Hey everybody, we are back. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. I know I said something about hunting for billboards or whatever, but at this point, I'm just exploring roads. When I play these games, especially because knowing that like the Horizon games aren't quite annualized, but they put out a bunch of them what felt like relatively quickly. So at this rate, I'm just sort of making sure I drive all the roads, trying to get as many billboards I can, so at least all the ones that aren't like, you know, in the middle of a wilderness, so you would never find it just by doing the roads, and also I'm kind of ignoring the ones that are, you know, on top of roofs, so you have to jump. That's all right if I don't get all of those. So yeah, maybe I'm a little weird, but this feels like progress to me, and if nothing else, it's relaxing. And speaking of relaxing, I don't know if that's a good segue. It's probably not. We are moving to the next era of Orwell productions, I suppose, for tonight. We're moving on to the Campbell's Playhouse, and I want to know, I've heard of this before, it's Our Town. So, Let me just go ahead and pop that in the tape player. I need to turn the game down even more.
The makers of Campbell's Soup present the Campbell Playhouse. Orson Welles, producer.
In the next level. Try that.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ernest Chappell. Tonight, the Campbell Playhouse has the signal honor of presenting for its first performance on the air one of the classics of the modern American theater. The winner of the Pulitzer Prize for the best play of 1938, Our Town by Thornton Wilder. There was much talk when it was first produced in the theater because it was performed without scenery or props. The lovable, garrulous stage manager filling in gaps and explaining things as he went along.
Sounds like a bad
Orson Welles
production.
plays that part, and young John Craven is with us as George, the role he created in the original stage production. Now, before we introduce you to Our Town, a word from our sponsors.
Campbell's?
To nearly everyone, it seems to me, the words chicken for dinner have a thrilling sound. They bring thoughts of delightful eating, the kind we associate with holidays and special occasions. Think as far back as you can among your own family's favorite foods or those of any family you've ever visited. Can you remember any dish more widely prized than chicken? But I think this widespread liking for chicken accounts to a large degree for the tremendous popularity of Campbell's chicken soup. And I can promise you that as sure as you like chicken, you'll like Campbell's chicken soup. It's chicken through and through, from its golden surface to the very bottom of your plate. Its broth glistens with chicken richness. Its
soup
fluffy
is
rice
too
is filled
liquidy.
with
It's not
chicken
quite
flavor.
a drink,
And there are
but it's also
tempting
not
tender
quite a
pieces
meal.
of chicken meat. During the last 5 years, people everywhere have discovered how downright good and homey Campbell's chicken soup is.
Yo,
If you
what up,
haven't tried
homie?
it, why don't you?
Have you seen this
Because
soup?
I'm sure you'll pronounce it every bit as fine as the best chicken soup you've ever had.
All right.
How about this weekend? And now, Orson Welles in Our Town.
This play is called Our Town. It was written by Thornton Wilder. In it, you will hear Miss Patricia Newton, Miss Agnes Moorhead, Miss Effie Palmer, Mr. John Craven, Mr. Ray Collins, Mr. Everett Sloan, Mr. Parker Fenley, and many others. The name of the town is Grover's Corners, New Hampshire. It's across the Massachusetts line. Longitude 42 degrees, 40 minutes. Latitude 70 degrees, 37 minutes. First act shows a day in our town. Day is May 7th, 1901. Time is just before dawn. Sky is beginning to show some streaks of light over in the east there, behind our mountain. Morning star always gets wonderful bright the minute before it has to go. Only lights on in town are in a cottage over by the tracks where a Polish mother's just had twins. And in the Joe Crowell house where Joe Jr. is getting up so as to deliver the paper. And in the depot where Shorty Hawkins is getting ready to flag the 545 for Boston. Now, there it is. Yeah, there it comes now. And so another day begun. There's Doc Gibbs coming down Main Street, coming back from that baby case. Here's his wife coming downstairs to get breakfast. Doc Gibbs died in 1930. New hospital's named after him. Mrs. Gibbs died first, a long time ago, in fact. She went out to visit her daughter, Rebecca, who married an insurance man in Canton, Ohio, and died there, pneumonia. But her body was brought back here. She's up in the cemetery there now, in with a whole mess of Gibbses and Herseys. She was Julia Hersey before she married Doc Gibbs in the Congregational Church over there. In our town, we like to know the facts about everybody. And that's Doc Gibbs now. There comes Joe Crowell Jr. delivering the papers.
This is just an old lady sitting on her porch narrating to herself. I guess I get
And
it
here
now.
comes Howie Newsom delivering the milk.
Get up, Bessie. What's the matter with you? Come on. Morning, Doc. Morning, Howie. Hey, somebody sick? They're twins over at Miss Gorlowski's. Twins, eh? This town's getting bigger every year. Morning, Miss Gibbs.
Morning, Howie.
Bacon smells good.
Everything all right, dear?
Yes, I declare, easy as kittens.
Bacon will be ready in a minute. Sit down, drink your coffee. Children! Children! Time to get up, George. Rebecca?
Yes, Mama.
Didn't catch a couple hours sleep this morning, can't you?
Well, Miss Wentworth's coming at 11. I guess I know what's about to. Her stomach ain't what it ought to be.
All told, you won't get more than 3 hours sleep. Aunt Gibbs, I don't know what's going to become of you. Do wish I could get you to go away someplace and take a rest. Think it'd do you good. George! Rebecca, you'll be late for school. Bobby! Emily, you'll be late for school.
And that's Mrs. Webb now, next door to the Gibbses, getting her family up for the day.
Bobby, you wash yourself good, or I'll come up and do it myself. I'll put away your books, Emily. You know the rules well as I do. No books at table. As for me, I'd rather have my children healthy than bright.
I'm both, Mom. You know I am. I'm the brightest girl in school for my age. I have a wonderful memory.
Well, eat your breakfast.
The Webbses have 2 children, little Wally and Emily. Emily's 14. And there's 2 over the way at the Gibbses, Rebecca and George. George is 15.
Mama, George is throwing himself at me.
I'll come up and slap the both of you. That's what I'll do.
We've got a factory in our town, too. Hear it? Makes blankets. Cartwrights own it, and it's brought him a fortune.
Speak to your father about it when he's rested. Seems to me 25 cents a week's enough for a boy your age, George Gibbs. I declare I don't know how you spend it all.
Oh, Ma, I got a lot of things to buy.
Strawberry phosphates, that's what you spend it on.
Well, I don't see how Rebecca comes to have so much money. She has more than $1.
Well, I've been saving it up gradual.
Well, dear, I think it's a good thing every now and then to spend some.
Mama, do you know what I love most in the world? Do you? Money.
Eat your breakfast.
There's the first bell.
I'm not fast, but you don't have to run. George, pull up your pants and knee, and don't slouch, George.
Okay. Tell Miss Foster I send her my best congratulations. Mama. Remember that? Am I pretty?
You look real nice, Rebecca, and I'll pick up your feet.
Goodbye, Mama.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, George. Bye. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning, Myrtle. How's your cold?
Well, it's better, but I told Charles I didn't know I'd go to choir practice tonight.
Wouldn't be any use. Well, just the same, you come to choir practice, Myrtle, and try it. Well, if I don't feel no worse than I do now, I probably will. While I'm resting myself, I thought I'd string some of these beans. Let me help you. Beans have been good this year. I decided to put up 40 quarts if it kills me. The children say they hate 'em, but I notice they're able to get 'em down all winter.
Thanks, Mrs. Gibbs. Thanks, Mrs. Webb. Folks, most every morning, Mrs. Gibbs goes over to Mrs. Webb's, or Mrs. Webb visits Mrs. Gibbs. So we'll
Is this
just
ever
leave
going
them
to
there
be about
visiting
something?
And skip a few hours in the day at Grover's Corners.
I'm learning, I guess.
Well, now it's middle of the afternoon. All 2,642 have had their dinners, and all the dishes have been washed. There's an early afternoon calm in our town, a buzzing and a humming from the school buildings. Only a few buggies on Main Street, the horses dozing at the hitching posts. You all remember what it's like. Doc Gibbs is in his office tapping people and making them say, ah, and Mr. Webb's cutting his lawn over there. 1 man in 10 thinks it's a privilege to push his own lawnmower. No, sir, it's later than I thought. There, the children come home from school already, and here comes Emily Webb, George Gibbs.
Hello.
You made a fine speech in class.
Well, I was really ready to make a speech about the Monroe Doctrine, but at the last minute, Miss Corkin made me talk about the Louisiana Purchase instead. I worked an awful long time on both of them.
Gee, it's funny, Emily. From my window over there, I can just see your head nights when you're over in your room doing your homework.
Why, can you?
You certainly do stick to it. I don't see how you can sit still that long. I guess you like school.
Well, I feel it's something you have to go through.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, really. It passes the time.
You're just naturally bright, Emily, I guess.
Well, I figure it's just the way a person's born.
Yeah. But you see, I want to be a farmer. And my Uncle Luke says whenever I'm ready, I can come over and work on this farm, and if I'm any good, well, I can just gradually have it.
You mean the house and everything?
Yeah. Well, thanks. I better be getting out the baseball field. Thanks for the talk, Emily. Good afternoon, Mrs. Webb.
Good afternoon, George.
So long, Emily.
So long, George. Emily, come and help me string these beans for the winter. George Gibbs let himself have a real conversation,
Isn't it
didn't he?
stringed beans?
Why, he's growing up. How old would George be?
I don't know.
See, he must be almost 16.
Mama, I made a speech in class today, and I was very good.
You must recite it to your father at supper. What was it about?
The Louisiana Purchase, just like silk off a spool. I'm going to make speeches all my life. Mama, will you answer me a question, serious?
Seriously, not serious, dear.
Seriously. Will you?
Well, of course I will.
Mama, am I good-looking?
Why, yes, of course you are. All my children have got good features. I'd be ashamed if they hadn't.
Mama, that's not what I mean. What I mean is, am I pretty?
I've already told you yes. Now, that's enough of that. You have a nice, young, pretty face. I never heard of such foolishness.
Oh, Mama, you never tell us the truth about anything.
I am telling you the
Which one of these kids
truth.
are going to get mangled
Mama,
at the blanket factory and rock the heart
Yes,
of the
I
small town?
was, if I do say it. I was the prettiest girl in town next to Mamie Cartwright.
But, Mama, you've got to say something about me. Am I pretty enough to get people interested in me?
Emily, you make me tired. Now stop it. You're pretty enough for all normal purposes. Come along now and bring your bowl with you.
Oh, Mama, you're no help at all.
We'll have to interrupt again here. Thank you, Mrs. Webb. Thank you, Emily. A lot of time's gone by. It's evening now. You can hear choir practice going on in the Congregational Church. Hear it? All the children are at home doing their schoolwork by now. Yeah, the days run down like a tired clock.
Emily.
Hello.
Hello.
I can't work at all. The moonlight's so terrible.
Emily, did you get the third problem?
Which?
The third.
Oh, why, yes, George. That's the easiest of them all.
I don't see it. Can you give me a hint?
I'll tell you one thing. The answer's in yards.
Yards? How do you mean?
In square yards.
Oh, square yards.
Yes, George. Don't you see?
Yeah.
George does
In
not
square
see.
yards of wallpaper.
Oh, square yards of wallpaper. Thanks a lot, Emily.
You're welcome. My, isn't the moonlight terrible? Choir practice going on. I think if you hold your breath, you can hear the train all the way to Kantuka. Hear it?
What do you know?
Well, I guess I better go back and try to work.
Good night, Emily, and thanks.
Good night, George.
Good night, Father. Good night, Miss Wheelock.
Here comes Mrs. Webb, Mrs. Gibbs. Some of their lady friends home from choir practice.
I'll tell Mr. Webb. I know he'll want to put it in the paper. My, it's late. Good night, Irma. Real nice choir practice, wasn't it? Mr. Webb, look at that moon, will you? Hate the weather, for sure. My, I hate to go to bed on a night like this. I'd better hurry. Those children will be sitting up long hours. Good night, Luella. Good night, Pickles. Good night, Susan. Good night, Julia. Good night.
And now, folks, there's some more things we got to explore about this town. This time we're going about it in another way. Going to look back on it from the future. You know, the Cartwright interests had just begun building a new bank in Grover's Corners and had to go to Vermont for the marble, sorry to say. They've asked a friend of mine what they should put in the cornerstone for people to dig up 1,000 years from now. Of course, they put in a copy of the New York Times, a copy of Mr. Webb's Sentinel. He's the editor at Sentinel. We're kind of interested in this because some scientific fellows have found a way of painting all that reading matter with a kind of glue, a silicate glue. Make it keep 1,000, 2,000 years. So we're putting in a Bible and the Constitution of the United States, a copy of William Shakespeare's plays, and what do you think? You know, Babylon once had 2 million people in it. All we know about them is the names of the kings and some copies of wheat contracts and sales of slaves. Yet every night all those families sat down to supper, and the father came home from his work and the smoke went up the chimney, same as here. And even in Greece and Rome, all we know about the real life of the people is what we can piece together out of the joking poems and the comedies they wrote for the theater back then. So I'm going to have a copy of this play put in the cornerstone, and the people 1,000 years from now know a few simple facts about us. More than the Treaty of Versailles and the Lindbergh flight. See what I mean? Well, you people 1,000 years from now, in the provinces north of New York at the beginning of the 20th century, people ate 3 meals a day, soon after sunrise, at noon, and at sunset. Every seventh day, by law and by religion, was a day of rest, and all work come to a stop. Domestic setup was marriage, binding relation between a male and one female that lasted for life. Guess we don't have to tell you about the government and business forms, because thing people seem to hand down first of all. Let me see now if there's anything else. Oh, yes. At death, people were buried in the ground just as they are. So, friends, this is the way we were in our growing up and in our marrying and in our doctoring and in our living and in our dying. And now we'll return to our day in Grover's Corners. A lot of time's gone by. There's George up there in the window, talking with Rebecca.
Get out, Rebecca. There's only room for one at this window. You're always spoiling everything.
Well, let me look just a minute.
Well, use your own window.
I did, but there's no moon there. George, do you know what I think? Do you? I think maybe the moon's getting nearer and nearer. And there'll be a big explosion.
Rebecca, you don't know anything. If the moon were getting nearer, the guys that sit up all night with telescopes would see it first. And they'd tell us about it. And it'd be in all the newspapers.
George, is the moon shining on South America, Canada, and half the world?
Well, probably is.
Well, folks, there it is.
That's how dumb we were.
Another night, Grover's Corners. There they are. 9:30. Most of the lights out. I know there's Constable Warren trying a few doors on Main Street. And here comes Editor Webb after putting his newspaper to bed. All right, Editor Webb.
Evening, Bill. Evening, Mr. Wells. Quite a moon. Yeah.
Now, if this play ended with, like, the moon is getting closer and closer, and
Who's that
the
there?
final act as it crashes.
That's you, madam?
No, it's me, Papa.
Why don't you in bed?
I don't
Our
know.
town, but it's the
I
town
can't
from
seem to sleep
Majora's
yet,
Mask.
The moonlight's so wonderful. And the smell of Mrs. Gibbs' heliotrope. Can you smell it?
Yeah. Had any troubles on your mind, have you, Emily?
Troubles, Papa? No.
Well, enjoy yourself. We'll let your mother catch you. Night, Emily.
Good night, Papa.
Enjoy yourself, don't let your mother catch you. Yeah, kids after bedtime. Sure, alright, fine. I didn't say
I
nothing.
never told you about that letter Jane Crowfoot got from her minister when she was sick. The minister of her church in the town she was in before she came here. He wrote Jane a letter, and on the envelope, the address was like this. It said, Joan Crowfoot, the Crowfoot Farm, Grover's Corners, Sutton County, New Hampshire, United States of America.
What's funny about that?
Oh, but listen, it's not finished. The United States of America, continent of North America, Western Hemisphere, the Earth, the solar system, the universe, the mind of God. That's what it said on the envelope.
Oh, what do you know?
And the postman brought it just the same.
What do you know?
I ain't gonna...
That's the end of the first part of our broadcast, friends. Second part will begin in just a minute.
This is your Act 1 finale?
You are listening to the Campbell Playhouse presentation of Thornton Wilder's Pulitzer Prize play, Our Town, starring Orson Welles. This is the Columbia Broadcasting
Like, it's a little
System.
curious, right? Because consider, you know, anything depicting modern life in our time, we know how wrong that is from, like, what actual lived experiences are. Or, you know, even if it is accurate to certain lived experiences, we know how it is only accurate to a certain subset of lived experiences.
This is Ernest Chappell, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming you back to the Campbell Playhouse.
Much more
In a moment or
amplified is
two,
that
we will resume
in
our
this
presentation
era
of Thornton Wilder's Pulitzer Prize play,
when we're
Our
still
Town.
before...
While
faster
Orson Welles
than, like,
was taking us through the
communication,
streets and byways of
accurate
our
enough
town,
to
I fell to
use
thinking of
before the
everybody's
information
hometown.
age, when culture
And
was
the changes that have taken place
pretty
there.
rapidly becoming a great
Not only the
goo,
physical
and
changes
there
and the
was,
new
like, a
faces, but the
whiplash to
changes
that.
in habit. For instance, not so many years ago, people discovered the joy and refreshment and health benefits of drinking tomato juice at breakfast. For that was certainly a change for the better in the eating habits in my town and yours. Then there was a time when women felt that only homemade chicken soup was good enough for their families. Well, this too has changed, for people have discovered the same good chicken eating in Campbell's chicken soup as in the best of homemade soup without the fuss and bother of preparing it. It's evident that a great many families have found out how good Campbell's chicken soup really is because we're called upon to make more and more of it. Have you had it lately? Now we resume our Campbell Playhouse presentation of Thornton Wilder's Pulitzer Prize play, Our Town, starring Orson Welles with John Craven.
Well, folks, 3 years have gone by. Yes, the sun's come up over 1,000 times. Summers and winters have cracked the mountains a little bit more, and the rains have brought down some of the dirt. Some babies that weren't even born before have begun talking regular sentences already. A number of people who thought they were right young and spry have noticed that they can't bound up a flight of stairs like they used to without their heart fluttering a little. Some older sons are sitting at the head of the table, and some people I know are having their meat cut up for them. All that can happen in 1,000 days. Nature's been pushing and contriving in other ways, too. A number of young people fell in love and got married. Yes, mountain got bit away a few fractions of an inch. Millions of gallons of water went by the mill, and here and there a new home was set up under a roof. Almost everybody in the world gets married, know what I mean? In our town, there aren't hardly any exceptions. Most everybody in the world climbs into their graves married. So, it's 3 years later, it's 1904, July 7, just after high school commencement. That's the time most of our young people jump up and get married. As soon as they pass their last examinations in solid geometry and Cicero's orations, looks like they suddenly feel themselves fit to be married. It's early morning. There, you can hear the 545 of Boston. Here comes Howie Newsom delivering the milk. There's Mrs. Gibbs and Mrs. Webb come down to breakfast, just though it were an ordinary day. I don't have to point out to the women in my audience that both these ladies cook 3 meals a day. One of them for 20 years, the other for 40. No summer vacation. Brought up 2 children apiece. Washed, cleaned the house, never a nervous breakdown. Never thought themselves hard used either.
Well, Ma, days come. You're losing one of your chicks.
Frank Gibbs, don't you say another word. I feel like crying every minute. Sit down, drink your coffee.
The groom's up shaving himself, whistling and singing like he's glad to leave us. Every now and then he says, "I do," to the mirror. But it don't sound convincing to me. What? Why, Julia Hersey, French toast.
Ain't hard to make, and I had to do something.
I remember my wedding morning, Julia.
Now, don't start that, Frank Gibbs. I tell you, I can't stand it.
I was the scaredest young fellow in the state of New Hampshire. I thought I'd made a mistake, for sure. And when I see you coming down that aisle, I thought you was the prettiest girl I'd ever seen. But the only trouble was, I'd never seen you before. There I was in the Congregational Church, marrying a total stranger.
How do you think I felt?
Good morning, everybody. Only 4 more hours to live.
Where you going?
Just across the grass to see my girl.
Now, George, you take an umbrella. I won't let you out.
Good morning, Mr. Webb.
Well, George, how are you?
I'm fine. Mr. Webb, do you believe in superstitions?
Well, what superstition, George?
You know, about a bride and groom not being supposed to see each other on the wedding morning.
Well, you see, on a wedding morning, the girl's heads have to be full of clothes and things like that. Don't you think that's probably it?
Yes. I never thought of that.
Girls have to be mighty nervous on a wedding day.
I wish a fella could get married without all that marching up and down.
Well, every man that's ever lived felt that way about it, George. Hasn't done much good. It's the women that have built up weddings, my boy. From now on, they have it pretty much their like. All those good women standing shoulder to shoulder, making sure that the knot's tied in a mighty public way.
You believe in it, don't you, Mr. Webb?
Oh, yes. Oh, don't you misunderstand me, my boy. Marriage is a wonderful thing. Wonderful thing. Don't forget that, George.
No, sir. Mr. Webb, how old were you when you got married?
Well, you see, I'd been to college. I'd taken a little time to get settled. But Mrs. Webb, she wasn't much older than what Emily is. Oh, age hasn't much to do with it, George.
not compared to other things. George, I was thinking the other night of some advice my father gave me when I got married. Charles, he said, Charles, start out early showing who's boss, he said. Best thing to do is to give an order, even if it don't make any sense. Just so she'll learn to obey. And, he said, if anything about your wife irritates you, her conversation or anything, just get up and leave the house. That'll make it clear to her, he said. And oh, yes, he said never let your wife know how much money you have. Never.
Mr. Webb, I don't
So I took the opposite of my father's advice, and I've been happy ever since. But that'd be a lesson to you, George.
All right, okay.
Never to ask advice on personal matters. George, you going to raise chickens on your farm?
What?
You going to raise chickens on your farm?
Well, Uncle Luke hasn't gone in much of chicken raising.
Brooke came into my office the other day, George, on the philo system of raising chickens. I want you to read it.
Charles, are you talking about that old incubator again? I thought you two would be talking about things worthwhile. Good morning, George.
Well, Myrtle, if you want to give the boys some good advice, I'll go upstairs and leave you alone with them.
Now, George, I'm sorry, but I've got to send you away so that Emily can come down and get some breakfast. She told me to tell you that she sends you her love, that she doesn't want to lay eyes on you. So, goodbye, George.
Myrtle, I guess you don't know about that other superstition.
What do you mean, Charles?
Since the cavemen, the groom should never be left alone with his father-in-law on the day of the wedding, or near it. Now, don't forget that.
Now, I have to interrupt again here.
Please.
See, we want to know how all this began, this wedding, this plan to spend a lifetime together. I'm often interested in how big things like that begin. You know how it is. You're 21 or 22, you make some decisions, then you're 70. You've been a lawyer for 50 years, and that white-haired lady at your side has eaten over 50,000 meals with you. How do such things begin?
Now, you've had a lot of time to...
George and Emily are going to show you now the conversation they had when they first knew that, the saying goes, they were meant for each other. Before they do it, I want you to try and remember what it was like when you were young, when you were 15 or 16. For some reason, it's very hard to do. Those days when even the little things in life could be almost too exciting to bear. And particularly, days when you're first in love. When you're like a person sleepwalking and you didn't quite see the street you were in. Didn't quite hear everything that was said to you. Just a little bit crazy. Do you remember that, please? Now, they'll be coming out of high school at 3 o'clock. George just been elected president of the junior class, and it's June. That means he'll be president of the senior class all next year. And Emily's just been elected secretary of treasury. Don't have to tell you how important that is. All right, George.
Can I carry your books home for you, Emily?
Thanks.
I'm awful glad you were elected too, Emily.
Thank you.
Emily, why are you mad at me?
I'm not mad at you.
But you're treating me so funny.
Well, I might as well say it right out, George. I don't like the whole change that's come over you in the last year. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but I just got to tell the truth and shame the devil.
I'm awfully sorry, Emily. What do you mean?
Well, up to a year ago, I used to like you a lot, and I used to watch you as you did everything, because we'd been friends so long, and then you started spending all your time playing baseball, and you never even spoke to anybody anymore, not even to your own family you didn't. And, George, it's a fact, you got awful conceited and stuck up, and all the girls say so. They may not say so to your face, but that's what they say about you behind your back. And it hurts me to hear them say it, but I got to agree with them a little, and well, I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings, but I can't be sorry I said it.
I'm glad you said it, Emily. I never thought that such a thing was happening to me. I guess it's hard for a fellow not to have some faults creep into his character.
I always expect a man to be perfect, and I think he should be.
Well, I don't think it's possible to be perfect, Emily.
Well, my father is. As far as I can see, your father is. There's no reason on earth why you shouldn't be, too.
Emily, I feel it's the other way round. That men aren't naturally good, but girls are. Like you and your mother and my mother.
Well, you might as well know right now that I'm not perfect. Not as easy for a girl to be perfect as a man because we girls are more nervous. Now, I'm sorry I said all that about you. I don't know what made me say it.
No. I guess if it's the truth, you ought to say it. You stick to it, Emily.
I don't know if it's the truth or not, and I suddenly feel it isn't important at all.
Emily,
All
Would you like an
records
ice
are
cream
records of
soda
how
or something
stupid
before you
humans
go
used to
home?
be. I'm just gonna lay it out there.
Thank you. I would.
Hello, George. Hello, Emily. Well, what do you have? Why, Emily Webb. Well, what have you been crying
Oh,
about?
she got an awful scare, Mr. Morgan. She almost got run over by that hardware store wagon. Everybody always says that Tom Huckins drives like a crazy man.
Well, here, take a drink of water, Emily. Let's see. Hey, you look all shook up. There. Well, now, what do you have?
I'll have a strawberry phosphate, thank you, Mr. Morgan.
No, Emily. Have an ice cream soda with me. 2 strawberry ice cream sodas, Mr. Morgan.
Yes, sir. Hey,
wait.
You know, you've got to look both ways before you cross Main Street these days. It gets worse every year. 125 horses can go over the corner this minute that I'm talking to you. State inspector was in here yesterday. And now they're bringing in these automobiles. Best thing to do is just stay home, I guess. Why, I can remember the time when a dog could lie all day in the middle of Main Street and nothing would come along to disturb him. Oh, yes, Miss Ellis. I'll be with you in a minute.
Days of being in
Here,
a
your
street
soda.
dog.
Well,
What?
enjoy them.
They're so expensive.
No, don't think of that. We're celebrating. First, we're celebrating our election. And then, do you know what else I'm celebrating?
No.
I'm celebrating because I've got a friend who tells me everything that ought to be told me.
George, please don't think of that. I don't know why I said it. It's not true.
No, you stick to it, Emily. I'm glad you spoke to me the way you did. But you'll see, I'm going to change so quick that I'm going to change. And Emily, I want to ask you a favor.
What?
Well, if I go away to State Agriculture College next year, will you write me a letter once in a while?
I certainly will. I certainly will, George. Certainly seems like being away 3 years, you get out of touch with things.
Yeah. You know, Emily, whenever I meet a farmer, I ask him if he thinks it's important to go away to agriculture school to be a good farmer.
Why, George.
Yeah, and some of them say that it's even a waste of time. And Uncle Luke's getting old. He's about ready for me to start in taking over his farm tomorrow if I could.
My.
And like you say, being gone all that time, meeting other people in other places, anything like that can happen. I don't want to go away. I guess new people aren't any better than old ones. I'll bet you they almost never are.
Hell yeah.
Emily, I feel that you're as good a friend as I've got, and I don't need to go to other towns to meet other people. Emily, I'm going to make up my mind right now. I won't go. I'll tell Pa about it tonight.
Why, George, I don't see why you have to decide right now. It's a whole year away.
Emily, I'm glad you spoke to me about that fault in my character. What you said was right, but there was one thing wrong in it. That was where you said that I wasn't noticing people. And you, for instance. Listen, Emily, you say you were watching me when I did everything. Why, I was doing the same thing about you all the time. Sure, I always thought about you as one of the chief people I thought about. And I always made sure where you were sitting in the bleachers and who you were with. And we've always had lots of talking and joking and everything. And they meant a lot to me. Of course, they weren't as good as the talk we're having now. And lately, I've been noticing that you've been acting kind of funny to me. And for 3 days, I've been trying to walk home with you. But something's always gotten away. Yesterday, I was standing over by the wall waiting for you. And you walked home with Miss Cochran.
George, life's awful funny. How could I know that? Why, I thought
Listen, Emily, I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to go away to agriculture college. I think that once you've found a person you're very fond of, well, that is, who's fond of you, too, at least enough to be interested in your character, well, I think that that's just as important as college is. Even more so. That's what I think.
I think it's awfully important, too.
Emily.
I think college would be a waste on this kid. I'm sorry.
Emily,
He's got other things to do at the
if
time.
I do improve and make a big change, would you be... Well, that is... Would you be...
I am now. I always have been.
Oh, I guess this is an important talk we've been having.
Yes.
Now, before we go on to the wedding, there are still some more things we ought to know about this marriage. I want to know some more about how the parents took it, but what I want to know most of all is, you know what I mean, what Grover's Corner thought about marriage anyway.
I don't know what you mean,
When I married
Orson.
you
You know what one of my terrors was in getting married?
Oh, Shaw, go on with you.
I was afraid that we weren't going to have material for conversation more than would last us just a few weeks. Yeah, I was afraid we'd run out, eat our meals in silence. That's a fact. But you and I have been conversing for 20 years now without any noticeable barren spells.
Well, good weather, bad weather. Ain't very choice, but always manage to find something to say.
What do you think? What do you think, Julia? Shall we tell the boy that he can go ahead and get married?
Oh, there you go, putting the responsibility on me.
Well, I'll go up. I'll go up and say a word to him right now before he goes to bed, huh? You're sure, Julia? You got nothing more to add?
Well, I don't know what to say. Seems like too much to ask for a big outdoor boy like that to go and get shut up in the classrooms for 3 years. Once he's on the farm, he might just well have companions, seeing he's found a fine girl like Emily. People are meant to live two by two in this world. Oh, yes, Frank, go up and tell him it's all right.
Yeah, I'll call him. George? Oh, George.
Yes, Pa?
Can you come down a minute? Your mother and me want to speak to you.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, Lord, what a fool I am. I'm trembling all over. Nothing to tremble about.
Now we're ready to go on with the wedding. Well, folks, there are a lot of things to be said about a wedding. A lot of thoughts that go on during a wedding. Can't get them all into one wedding, naturally, and especially not into a wedding at Grover's Corners where they're awful plain and short. In this wedding, I play the minister. Take that part. Gives me the right to say a few more things about it. For a while now, the play gets pretty serious. See, some churches say that marriage is a sacrament. I don't know what that means, but I can guess. You know, like Mrs. Gibbs said just now, people were made to live 2 by 2. Now, this is a good wedding, but people are so put together that even at a good wedding, there's a lot of confusion way down deep in people's minds. And we thought that ought to be in our play, too.
Why on earth I should be crying? Suppose there's nothing to cry about. Come over me at breakfast this morning. There was Emily, eating her breakfast as she's done for 17 years. And now she's going off to eat it in someone else's house. I suppose that's it. There they come.
Wish I were back at school. I don't want to get married.
George, what's the matter?
I don't want to grow old. Why is everybody pushing me so?
Why, George, you wanted it.
Why do I have to get married at all? Listen, Ma, for the last time I ask you...
George, if anyone should hear me, now stop. Why, I'm ashamed of you.
What's the matter? I've been dreaming. Where's Emily?
Gracious, you gave me such a turn.
Oh, cheer up, Ma. What are you looking so funny for? Cheer up. I'm getting married.
Let me catch my breath a minute.
No, Ma. You save Thursday nights. Emily and I are coming over to dinner every Thursday night. You'll see. What are you crying for? Oh, we've got to get ready for this.
I've never felt so alone in my whole life. And George over there looking so... I hate him. I wish I were dead. Papa! Papa!
Emily, now. Don't get upset.
But, Papa, I don't want to get married.
Emily, everything's all right.
Oh, why can't I stay for a while just as I am? Let's go away.
No, Emily, no. Stop and think.
But don't you remember that you used to say... All the time you used to say that I was your girl. There must be lots of places we can go to. Let's go away. I'll work for you. I can keep house.
You mustn't think of such things. You're just nervous, Emily. Now. You're marrying the best young fellow in the world. George is a fine fellow.
Oh, but Papa...
George?
Yes, Mr. Webb?
You're giving away my daughter, George. You think you can care for her?
Mr. Webb, I want to try. Emily, I'm going to do my best. I love you, Emily. I need you.
So, if you love me, help me. All I want is someone to love me.
I will, Emily.
If I'm ever sick or in trouble, that's what I mean.
Emily, I'll try. I'll try.
And I mean forever. Do you hear? Forever and ever.
Don't you dare doubt.
Do you, George, take this woman, Emily, to be your wedded wife?
Don't be
to live together after God's ordinance, the holy estate of matrimony, with our lover, comforter, honor, and keeper in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, keep thee only unto us so long as ye both shall live. Answer now, George.
I do. Don't know, friend. I've seen such a...
You, Emily, take this man, George, in the state of matrimony. Wilt thou love her, comfort him, honor him, keep him in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, keep thee only unto us so long as ye both shall live. Answer, Emily.
I do.
Married 200 couples in my day. Usually get it wrong. Do I believe in it? I don't know. M marries N. Millions of them. Cottage, the go-kart. Sunday afternoon drives in the Ford. The first rheumatism, the grandchildren, the second rheumatism. Deathbed, reading the will. Once in 1,000 times, it's interesting. Well, let's have Mendelssohn's Wedding March.
Maybe I am now with this monster. Although he kind of sounds like he's gonna snap and draw his piece. Speak now, or I'll forever hold my peace, and he just pulls out a Mac 10.
This time, 9 years have gone by, friends. Summer 1913. Gradual changes in Grover's Corners. Horses are getting rarer, and farmers coming into town in Fords. Everybody locks their house doors now at night. Ain't been any burglars in town yet, but everybody's heard about them. You'd be surprised, though, on the whole. Things don't change much at Grover's Corners.
Touch.
We're up at the cemetery now. I don't know how you feel about such things, but this certainly is a beautiful place. It's on a hilltop. Windy hilltop. Lots of sky, lots of clouds, often lots of sun and moon and stars. Come up here on a fine afternoon, you can see range on range of hills. Awful blue they are up there by Lake Sunapee, Lake Winnipesaukee. Way up, if you got a glass, you can see the White Mountains. Mount Washington, where North Conway is, and Conway, of course, our favorite mountain. Right here, all around it. Jaffrey, other towns, East Jaffrey and Peterborough. Dublin, there, quite a ways down, is Grover's Corners. Yes, beautiful spot up here. Mountain laurel and lilacs. I often wonder why people like to be buried in Woodlawn, Brooklyn, when they might pass the same time up there in New Hampshire. Over there, the old stone, 1670, 1680, strong-minded people that come a long way to be independent. Over there, some Civil War veterans, too. Iron flags on the graves, New Hampshire boys. Had a notion that the Union ought to be kept together, though they'd never seen more than 50 miles of it themselves. All they knew was the name, friends. The United States of America. The United States of America. I went and died about it. Now, this here is the new part of the cemetery. Here's your friend, Mrs. Gibbs. Remember her? Let me see. Here's Mr. Stimson, organist of the Congregational Church. And over there's Mrs. Soames, who enjoyed the wedding so much. A lot of this. Editor Webb's boy, Wallace, whose appendix burst while he was a Boy Scout. Went on a trip to Crawford Notch. Well, there's some living people. There's Joe Stoddard, our undertaker, over there supervising a new-made grave. Here comes a Grover's Corners boy that left town to go out west.
Afternoon, Joe Stoddard.
Oh, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Oh, let me see. Do I know you?
I'm Sam Craig.
Gracious sakes alive of all people. Well, I should have known you'd be back for the funeral. Well, you've been away a long time, Sam.
Yeah, I've been away over 12 years. I'm in business out in Buffalo now, Joe. But I was in the East when I got news of my cousin's death, so I thought I'd kind of combine things a little and come and see the old home. Yeah, well, you look well.
Yes, I can't complain. Well, it's a sad journey for us today, Samuel.
Yep.
Yes, I always say I hate to supervise when a young person is taken.
There's old Farmer McCarthy. I didn't know he was gone. Used to do chores for him after school. He had lumbago.
Yes, we brought Farmer McCarthy here a number of years ago now.
Why, this is my Aunt Julia.
Yes. Doc Gibbs lost his wife 2 or 3 years ago, just about this time. Today's another bad blow for him, too.
Joe, what did she die of?
Who?
Why, my cousin, Emily.
Oh, didn't you know? Had some trouble bringing a baby into the world. Let's see, today's Friday. It was almost a week ago now.
Did the baby live?
No. was a second, though. His little boy, about 4 years old.
Now, I'm going to tell you some things you know already. You know them as well as I do, but you don't take them out and look at them very often. I don't care what they say with their mouths. Everybody knows that something is eternal. It ain't houses, and it ain't names, it ain't earth, it ain't even the stars. Everybody knows in their bones that something is eternal, and that something has to do with human beings. All the greatest people ever lived have been telling us that for, I don't know how long they've been telling us, 5,000 years, and yet you'd be surprised how people are always losing hold of it. Something way down deep that's eternal about every human being. You know as well as I do that the dead don't stay interested in us living people very long. Gradually, they let hold of the earth. The ambitions they had, and the pleasures they had, and the things they suffered, and people they loved. They get weaned away from earth. That's the way I put it. Weaned away. Yeah. They stay here while the earth part of them burns away, burns out. And all that time, they slowly get indifferent to what's going on in Grover's Corners. They're waiting.
Now I've got a head start.
Waiting for something that they feel is coming, something important and great. Aren't they waiting for the eternal part in them to come out clear? Some of the things they're going to say maybe will hurt your feelings. That's the way it is. Mother and daughter, husband and wife, enemy and enemy, money and miser, all those terribly important things kind of grow pale around here. And what's left? What's left when memory's gone? And your identity, Mrs. Smith.
Lord, let me know my name, the number of my days, I may be sure to find how long I am to live. Behold, thou hast made my days as it were a stand long, and mine age even as nothing in respect thee. And verily every man living was ever been.
Who is it, Julia? My daughter-in-law, Emily Webb, will I declare. What did she die of, Julia? In childbirth. Childbirth. I'd forgotten all about that. Mine wasn't like awful and wonderful. Hello. Hello, Emily. Hello, Mother Gift. Hello, Mother Gift. Emily. Hello. It's raining. Yes. They'll be gone soon, dear. It seems thousands and thousands of years since How stupid they all look. They don't have to look like that. Don't look at them now, dear. They'll be gone soon. They're sort of sharp in little boxes, aren't they? I feel as though I knew them last 1,000 years ago. My little boy is spending the day at Mrs. Carter's. Oh, Mr. Carter, my little boy is spending the day at your house. Is he? Yes. Yes. Look, Father Gibbs is bringing you some of my flowers. He looks just like George, doesn't he?
We listening
Father
to
Gibbs,
ghosts?
I never realized before how troubled and how in the dark live persons are. That's all they are from morning till night. Just troubled. Mother Gibbs, one can go back. One can go back there again into living. I feel it. I know it. Why, just then for a moment I was thinking about the farm, and for a minute I was there, and my baby was on my lap as plain as day. Yes, of course you can. I can go back there and live all those days over again. Why not? All I can say is, Emily, don't. But it's true, isn't it? I can go and live back there again.
Yes, some have tried. They soon come back here.
Don't do it, Emily. Emily, don't. It's not what you think it'd be. But I won't live over a sad day. I'll choose a happy one. I'll choose the day I first knew I loved George. Why should that be painful?
You not only live it, but you watch yourself living it.
Yes.
And as you watch it, you see the thing that they down there never know. You see the future. You know what's going to happen afterwards.
I'll choose a happy day anyway. No. At least choose an unimportant day. Choose the least important day in your life. It will be important enough. Then it can't be since I was married or since the baby was born. I can choose a birthday at least, can't I? choose my 12th birthday.
All right. February 11th, 1899, Tuesday. Do you want any special time of day?
Oh, I want the whole day.
We'll begin at dawn. Remember, it had been snowing for several days, but it stopped the night before, and they began clearing the roads. Sun's coming up.
Now he's a ghost time traveler.
Why, that's Mr. Morgan's drugstore before he changed it. And there's the livery stable.
Yes, it's 1899. 14 years ago.
Look, there's Howie Newsom. There's our policeman. But he's dead. He died.
Children, Wally, Emily, time to get up.
Mama, here I am. Oh, how young Mama looked. I didn't know Mama was ever that young. Oh.
You can come down dressed for the kitchen fire if you like, but hurry. Oh, good morning, Mr. Newsom.
Morning.
Oh, it's cold.
Getting below by my barn, Miss Webb.
Think of it. Keep yourself wrapped up.
The ghost is starting to watch her own
ready when you
version of
want
our
it.
town.
Oh, and Charles, don't forget, it's Emily's birthday. You remember to get her something?
Am I in hell?
Where's my girl?
Am I trapped forever?
Well, don't interrupt her now, Charles. You can see her at breakfast. She's slow enough as it is. Hurry up, children. It's 7 o'clock. Now, I don't want to call you again.
I can't bear it. They're so young and beautiful. Why did they ever have to get old? Mama, I'm here. I'm grown up. I love you all, everything. I can't look at everything hard enough. There's the butternut tree. There's Mr. Morgan's drugstore. And there's the high school forever, never, never. And there's the Congregational Church where I got married. Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Good morning, Emily.
Good morning, Mama.
Well, now, dear, a very happy birthday to my little girl and many, many happy returns. There's some surprises waiting for you on the kitchen table. That and the blue paper is from your Aunt Carrie. And I reckon you can guess who brought the postcard album. Found it on the doorstep when I brought in the milk. George Gibbs. Must have come over in the cold pretty early. Right nice of him.
George, I'd forgotten that.
Now, chew that bacon slow. It'll help keep you warm on a cold day.
Oh, Mama, just look at me once as though you really saw me. Mama, 14 years have gone by. I'm dead. You're a grandmother, Mama. I married George Gibbs, Mama. And Wally's dead, too. Mama, his appendix burst on a camping trip to North Conway. We felt just terrible about it. Don't you remember? But just for a moment now, we're all together.
All right, settle down, Dr. Manhattan.
Let's look at one
That
another.
and the yellow paper is something I found in the attic among your grandmother's things. You're old enough to wear it now, and I thought you'd like it. Your father has a surprise for you, too. Don't know what business sells. Here he comes.
I can't go
There's something going on here, like...
It goes so fast. We don't have time to look at one another. I didn't realize. So,
Yeah, settle down. There's something going on here where, like... I feel like what we're listening to here, watching here, is like, if this won awards, or does that mean that we're looking at like the beginning of the like scientifically created and structured to tug at heartstrings genre? Like, you know, there's a reason I was joking, like, which one of these kids are going to die? And the answer is, no, all of these characters are going to die. And then you're going to miss them because you'll be a ghost and you'll still be missing them. It's like, no, if everyone here, is it, like, yeah, you could, if you want to do,
No.
it doesn't make sense, but it does make you, I can feel myself getting sad about this. But it's nonsense. It's cheating. It's like, oh, don't you remember when your parents were young? Yeah. Like, unless you had some of those parents that suck, like, yeah, that's gonna make like everyone tear up. Like, what? Just, you're cheating. You're cheating, bro. You're using emotional steroids here.
it's George.
Dear, you just rest yourself.
It's George. He's thrown himself down here. On the ground.
Goodness, that ain't no way to behave. He ought to be home.
Mother Gibbs,
Yes, Emily?
they don't understand much, do they?
No, dear. Not very much.
Well, most everybody's asleep in Grover's Corners. There are a few lights on. Shorty Hawkins down at the depot has just watched the Albany train go by. the livery stable, somebody's sitting up late and talking. Yeah, it's clearing up. There are the stars doing their old crisscross journeys in the sky. Scholars haven't settled the matter yet, but they seem to think there are no living beings up there. Just chalk, fire. Only this one is straining away all the time to make something out of itself. Strained so bad that every 16 hours everybody lies down and gets a rest. It's 11 o'clock in Grover's Corners. You get a good rest, too. Good night.
Oh, and just we're gonna end it that way, huh?
This concludes the Campbell Playhouse presentation of Our Town by Thornton Wilder, starring Orson Welles with John Craven. In just a moment, Mr. Wells will return to the microphone, but first a word on behalf of our sponsors. Earlier this evening,
Shorty,
I
you want some of
you'd
this
find
soup?
Campbell's chicken soup every bit as good as the finest chicken soup you've ever tasted. I'll go further than that. I believe you'll find it even better. And I say this for two reasons. First, because thousands and thousands have welcomed Campbell's chicken soup with downright enthusiasm and are now serving it regularly. Second, because I've seen how Campbell's chicken soup is made. Campbell's use all the good meat of plump, government-inspected chickens. Long and slowly they simmer the broth till it attains a glistening golden color, till every drop is rich with chicken flavor. Light, fluffy rice is added, and to complete your enjoyment, tender pieces of chicken meat. I'm sure you'll be delighted with Campbell's chicken soup.
I am getting hungry.
Enjoy it
That's
this
a
weekend.
problem.
And now, if you please, Mr. Wells, will you tell us about next week's story?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, next week, what transpires is an entertainment called The Bad Man, for which purpose I am luring in the character of Pancho Lopez, the brigand, the beautiful Miss Ida Lupino, all the way from Hollywood into my fiendish clutches, and a good time I think will be had by all. Anyway, until next Friday night. Until The Bad Man, hurriedly, our sponsors, the makers of Campbell Soups and all of us in the Campbell Playhouse remain obediently yours.
The makers of Campbell Soups join Orson Welles in inviting you to be with us at the Campbell Playhouse again next Friday evening when lovely Ida Lupino at the screen joins him in that fabulous stage hit of the 1920s, The Bad Man, a story of love and laughter in old Mexico with Orson Welles himself as a bold and not over-successful bandit. Meanwhile, if you have enjoyed tonight's Campbell Playhouse presentation, won't you tell your grocer so tomorrow when you order Campbell's Chicken Soup? This is Ernest Chappell saying thank you and good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Okay. That I feel enlightened, having now experienced a production of My Town, Our Town, whatever, sponsored by Soup. I can. I'm standing by. I think it feels it. Listen, I know. One of my snarky go-tos is to just be like, wow, everything really is a Seinfeld, huh? Everything is about nothing. But, like, ideas about, like, hey, what is, like, there's an element that it's trying to be about, like, self-examination through a broader spectrum of time. I don't think it does a good job of it, but I think they were like, oh, this is something we could try to examine. And they don't do a good job examining it, but I think that's what they set out to do, right? Because it's just like, because we're doing this thing. We're hopping back and forth through time. We're doing it like, when they introduced the idea of like, yeah, the cornerstone was going, 1,000 years in the future. What'll be remembered about us? We remember about all the wheat sales contracts from Babylon, whichever. And it's just like, yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing. And there is an element of like, yeah, the everyday is, because it's like a mix of things, right? Like, because even then, to be like, oh yeah, we want to leave an archive of what the everyday is like, so we'll craft one in the form of a play. But as soon as you're crafting it, it is an inauthentic record of whatever it is that you're trying to record, right? It's it's like 1,000 years from the future. If people were like, oh, what was life like in let's just roll it back. They're like 2015. Oh, what are the reality shows? That must be an accurate portrayal. No, it's not. You will be able to piece together some stuff. It's almost more useful to simply use it to piece together, this artifact exists. What must have, occurred such that this would come into existence. Is almost better than taking the artifact at its word. Which, I would almost have more trust in the wheat contracts than I would in the play Our Town. Especially because, we are here in 2025. I don't want to think about earlier on, I ballparked it in my brain as like 80 years henceforth. My math is probably bad. But 100 years henceforth. Not at the 1,000 to open up that cornerstone yet, but now, like I said, we have the cultural gray goo of the internet, which honestly I think is a good thing, because we're getting a better idea of like, hey, all this stuff that we never really questioned is actually really messed up, and maybe we should address. That's why it's a good thing, because it means we're going to wake up and be like, oh, this is something that we should try to improve, because it'll make things better for people. It'll make the experience of life better. Because the play also wants to touch on things about that. Oh boy. But yeah, like this idea of like, what is the touchstone? Does something small? Cause it wraps around, right? Because it was saying like, oh, the wheat contract, something sort of like small, but an earnest artifact of everyday life is something that gives us a better record than something than other pieces. It's what we have to put together. So, and then it's calling forward and it's saying like, okay, well, that's why we're doing this, and it's not quite as authentic, but it's. I forgot the point I was trying to come around to on that. But God, the idea of, and now we're going to go be ghosts, and we're going to, we put a wedding of 17-year-olds in the middle, and then I lost track of the characters, but did that new wife die and then be a ghost and then go back and try to relive parts of her life? And it's just like, oh, this is heartbreaking. Not getting into other things about like, oh, okay, so if you have consciousness in the afterlife and you're not bound by time and space anymore, that opens up a lot of things that I think makes it, and also saying it's just like, yeah, and then things pass on and whatever. Like it definitely feels like one of those plays that is trying to sound smart by touching a lot of ideas and going, hey, did you ever think about this? And if at the time people hadn't really in a broader context, in a mainstream context, thought about it before the internet age, where you didn't think about a lot that wasn't directly in front of you because all of that was simply inaccessible, I bet this blew people's brains out they asses. I never thought about being a ghost to revisit my 12th birthday and how sad that makes me, like, oh, all right. Now it's we have the, and again, it was even kind of sitting on this, like, yeah, no, we are now cursed with hindsight of knowing what comes after, of knowing what the better version of this, a more sort of like self-reflected, a better investigated, a more nuanced version of this looks like. I can't think of like a particular singular example, but I think that's because it's more saturated within the culture that this ideas of just like, oh, thinking about our mortality is not like a, you can't surprise us with thinking about mortality anymore, Okay, no, I bring it back. That Adam Ruins Everything episode where he starts with the long monologue about like, hey, the healthiest thing you can do is accept that you're gonna die, and then they cut across and be like, yeah, that's not good first date conversation starters. And it's like, all right, well, what else you got? You know, like that's the thing. This idea that may have been mind blowing at one time is just kind of like still relevant, still real, still like viable, but also like so commonplace it's kind of a joke now. You can use it as a punchline. I want to see the modern sort of reinvention of this play where our pastor is some sort of vampire or ghoul or necromancer, and that is why he has this sort of like, again, kind of Dr. Manhattan-esque knowledge from out of time, this sort of like third-person observer, which, you know, at one point is just like because he is the third-person narrator, but also just being like, yeah, and then we'll work it in. It's because he's a vampire and he has lived 1,000 years, and you know, sometimes you take a generation or two off so that way people don't quite notice, or, you know, even just say, yeah, people are so caught up in their own lives they don't notice when somebody is never died, when everybody else that they thought of as part of that group of, like, oh yeah, sometimes a person becomes a fixture and you don't think about their mortality. Like, honestly, that adds another piece to it. Like, you know, people don't think about their mortality while they're alive until it's, you don't think about your mortality until it's relevant, which would be when you're about to die, I guess. You know, that's a twist you could put into it. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's something that could be fun there, and I think we could do something interesting with it, right? Because we do have these ideas. Hang on, I think I'm about to suggest something that might be what Cloud Atlas was trying to do. The idea of just like, you know, not just telling this sort of multi-generational story about like from when these people were kids to married to, come on, fit. We can fit here because the sign's right here. But like, yeah, where is the part where it's 1940-ish, and you know, we're watching the small town where everybody thinks that you know, man and woman were made to get married before they die, which that's already it. But then flash forward to now where we think about that and we have the context of the, you know, the cultural gray goo, and we have cell phones and stuff, and it's just like, okay, well, you know, how do we have people who have that broad of a term, and it's because that you would kind of have to do something about that, because that is sort of the nature of our culture now, right? We are sort of more, there is so much more awareness and there's so much more like unity and knowledge that a piece of the tone has to be like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we never knew because we were all so separate before, and a lot of that stuff seems like crazy and problematic to use a term like it's just like, yeah, that is so, we would be a problem if we tried to live in that now, but because we have this like knowledge of hindsight, we have the context of knowledge of the future, and like you could play with that. I might still be like, hey, this feels like an episode of Seinfeld with a vampire in the middle of it that nobody ever talks about. You would have to, like, he has to like admit it to the audience like in the first 5 minutes, and then nobody else in the story can ever mention it except for when people are finally dead, and it's just like, oh yeah, now they're just in on it. But it's never like, nobody ever has the shock moment of just like, or at most they have just like, it's like, oh, I'm freshly dead. Yeah, you're freshly dead. So you're entering a new part of life. You know, take time to get acclimated to it. It's like, oh, you were a vampire all along? Oh, I never knew. Oh, crazy that. You know, with the exact same sort of tone that you would go like, oh, so-and-so's daughter-in-law moved out to college and, you know, got married out there. Oh, I never know. Good for her. You know, it has to be that same tone because that's, you know, that they're like, because, you know, honestly, the sort of like wanting to play in the ideas of like yes, time is both a flat circle, cyclical, and also completely fleeting, and every one of those circles is unique and get lined up, is unique, and you know, we all live but a brief moment. It's different players every time, but it is more or less the same play every time as well. You know, it's growth, it's relationship, it's bonding, and it's parting. You know, growth, bonding, and parting. That's maybe that's what we call it. I hate that I'm going to be chewing on this play for a little while, because so much of it is like I said, is like it resonates, you know. Maybe it didn't have to blow minds, but the fact that it does resonate, you know, even now, I guess that means there is a certain timelessness to it. Make fun of it that I want, but it's, you know, well, you're talking about, oh, the human experience, growth, bonding, and parting. Like, yeah, of course it's gonna resonate. That's the whole point of it. Is like that is the thing that resonates. Yeah, all right. You know what? All right, maybe I am done percolating on it. I don't know why I always go at percolating. I do enough chewing. I need to percolate more, you know? I gotta say, it's hard to drive this casually in this game on a controller, but with a wheel, this has been really casual and comfortable. All right, we should probably get out of here. I had another one lined up that I thought we could listen to, but we've done 2 hours. That's the length of a movie. That's 2 stories. This one, you know, I might have said it was cheating because it was engineered to tug at heartstrings because it was talking about the morality of your, the mortality of your parents. And while that may be cheating, it does still affect. So I gotta go. I don't know. I gotta watch some people yell at a video game now that I'm in no position to do that for others. I think I'm going to say all records are records of how stupid we were. I think I am going to try to put that on a t-shirt. If you take one thing away from this stream, oh boy, but it's so easy to just keep going. There's just more roads that are empty. There's another barn find that I keep circling. I think what we're hearing is the whir of a supercharger, which I haven't done a lot of road trips with superchargers in the vehicle. Remember when we came across that that other player who was trying to get the roof jumps done? That was cool. That was a neat little bit of yeah, Forza Horizon is sort of a Strand game, actually. Hey, what's everybody doing over here? that. Is this it? Is this camaraderie? Am I socializing? I'm bad at this. That's why I stay home and stream. Alright, now that I guess I've found... I won't say my people, but I found some people. Let's get out of here. Thank you for hanging out. Right before we get out of here, let's do some housekeeping over this sideshow. Yeah, those work. Thursday stream next week. I think we're doing more Doom mod because there's plenty more ramp to play. If you want to catch up on episodes you missed, this will be our 4th episode of Ramp next week. If you want to see the last 3 from this Ramp, all the other Highway Book Clubs, all the other stuff we do, you can go to the YouTube channel and watch all the archives there. If you are watching the archive and you made it this far, hey, thanks for watching along. Consider hitting that follow button. You made it this far. If you want to sit in and watch these get recorded live, we do that on Wednesdays over on Twitch, so you can go there and follow. If you want to get notifications about new videos on YouTube or going live on Twitch, you can go over to the Discord. I have set up so you get notifications on all sorts of stuff, all sorts of activity here. And you can hang out, but I'm not a big... you can hang out and chat, but I'm not a big chatter, so if you're not either, hey, that's fine. It's just a nice place. We all sort of look sideways at each other and nod and then continue to not talk, and that's fine. I enjoy that sort of socializing. You might be able to tell from the way I run these streams. And if you like what we're doing here and you would like to help me do this more, I would love to get a second stream day a week going. Consider going over. I have a Patreon and a coffee set up. Go become a subscriber over there. Throw some money at me. The more money I make from y'all directly, the less time I have to give to a day job that is draining my soul and keeping me from playing video games with y'all. I really need to stop bumming myself out, so that's going to do it. Thank you very much, everybody, for hanging out with me tonight. I had a lovely time. I hope you did too. And until next time I see you, take care of one another. Have a good night, everybody. Let's go.